All right, the new MPC3 is finally here. Hallelujah. To some, that's a massive blessing because they've been waiting for a long time to get their hands on one of these. As a long-time MPC user and lover, I just want to have a look at it and see what makes it so exciting. It's a tank. It's got so much stuff going on there. I want to dig into that and have a yarn about what's going on there, have a look at the specs, the new features that might be introduced, look at the price and the competition. So let's jump in. So let's look at the aesthetics first of all, because that's the most important part of a product in the beginning, is what everyone looks at when they see it. Our first impression of the aesthetics are the most important thing with any piece of gear. This thing looks like a tank is what I can say. And that's good. You want stuff to be built hectic and like built tough. And for me, I really like the look of the buttons and the layout of them. I like the design that they've got. I think it's really awesome. I know some people think it's really ugly. Like, this thing is ugly as hell. Like, it's ugly as, but it's nice in the same way. Having buttons and being able to use button combos is going to enable you to move away from the touchscreen. So I'm like big tick for those buttons and the way it looks. The other things that look really cool are the touch strip on the side, which I think is really awesome. And we've got these pads with these several quadrants, and I'm wondering by the look of that whether that's MPE enabled pads. There's some really interesting choices with the layout, and for me, I think the layout looks awesome. The aesthetics look awesome, and it looks like a really fun, interesting device to use. It doesn't look like much has changed from the older MPCs, and in my opinion, that's a really good thing, especially because the firmware isn't changing. So it looks like some pretty smart choices for the aesthetics on the outside, the externals, and I want to jump in and have a look at the specs and the things that are involved with actually making this a more capable machine. What are we going to get out of it? Okay, so let's have a bit of a look at the spec. 8-core processor, 8 gig of onboard RAM, 128 gigs of storage, MPCE expressive pads with new 3D sensing technology. Interesting. A high quality studio mic. It's USB-C compatible, which is cool. It's looking good. What I'm really hoping with this spec bump, and I know everybody else might be hoping this as well, but please remove the 8 tracks only. Just allowing people to run into a CPU limit naturally themselves instead of capping them with 8 tracks. I mean, it's just frustrating. The combo inputs is another massive thing, like having the ability to plug our XLR inputs into the back of this thing is going to be massive. Hopefully that leans into the fact that they might have phantom power as well, which I always felt like was a bit of a miss. But yeah, overall, like the spec bump is really impressive, and I think they've done that really well. Like, it needed to have a bit of a spec bump to compete with current stuff. If people are going to spend all of their production inside MPC workflow, they need to have a powerful processor. They need to have a lot of RAM and storage. It's not going to compete with ARM architecture chips and that type, but at the end of the day, it can compete at least with something like the Push or the Octatrack, and probably blow them out of the water in terms of like power and capability. So I think the specs are another really big tick. I think Akai's done really well. I'm starting to really convince myself that they've actually hit the nail on the head with this release. They haven't gone for something too massive. They've just done enough, and I think that's really cool. They've listened to what people want, and I think that's really impressive. So the price. It's a good question. Looks like it's going to be about 2,200 Australian, which I think is roughly 1,700 US. So it sits about the same price as the other devices in its category. I don't think $2,000 is too much for this device. If you're going to buy something like this, it's going to be the center of your studio probably. So it's okay to spend something like that every 5 years, I think. It's going to replace a laptop for a lot of people in terms of making production on it. So it's pretty similar in a way to a budget laptop. So the price looks pretty good. So what about the competition? Like, recently Electron just announced the TonVerk, and the Push 3 has been out a while, and it's got some really cool updates lately. And so I'm just looking in terms of the competition now. Now we've got all these 3 flagship devices. I think I'm gonna make a video about those 3 in comparison, because it really looks like those 3 are going to be the one that people are going to choose between. I don't think those 3 all do the same job, and they certainly do certain things better than the others, and I actually think that's a really good thing. It's not really competition. You could have all 3, the Push, the TonVerk and the MPC, in your studio and be happy as Larry. Akai has really enabled itself to be the best at what it does. It's crazy that it literally is a door in a box, and I mean, most people just wanted a sampler. I think the competition is moving further apart, especially with this spec bump, especially with this idea of door in a box really coming into fruition. It really is starting to look like the best door in a box. And I think that's good for them. That's what they're really going for. So if you're looking for that, if you're looking to move away from the computer altogether and looking to do something inside a machine like Akai, then this thing is probably going to be really, really tantalizing for you and really swing you, because that spec bump and the potential for there to be more tracks available and more processing and just a greater capability of a machine is really going to attract some people away from the computer even more and more as we grow. I mean, if they were ever going to give me a 3 for free, I would 100% be rocking that and making videos on that. 3 for free, 3 for free. But for now, this channel is really small, and the only way it moves forward through the world is from users like you guys watching and commenting and sharing with me. So however you feel about this new device, leave a comment below so I can listen to you, have a yarn with you. I don't think there's a comment on my channel that I haven't responded to. I respond to everybody. So leave a comment, let's have a yarn, let's open it up for discussion. What do you like? What are you bummed that you missed out on, that it looks like they didn't feature in it? Let's open it up for a discussion. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate it. Until next time, have a good one.